This Las Vegas Raiders and Josh Sneed interview edition of the Stephie Small Show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to a $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at underdogfantasy.com, promo code SMALLS. And the Sports Gambling Podcast is back with their 32 NFL team previews. They're also bringing back the phrase that pays. Each episode, they will give out one word of a 32-word phrase. Submit the phrase for a chance to win a $1,000 circa future. And don't forget, we're still running the Stephie Small Show contest right now. All you have to do for a free entry is to give this show a 5-star review on Spotify and DM me the screenshot on X. If you want a bonus entry, leave a comment on this video. Prizes include some show swag, a $50 futures bet from Circa, and a 30-minute Zoom call with me to discuss your fantasy team, or maybe just drink some high noons. Let's go.
Are you ready?
That was the most unenthusiastic let's go I think I've ever heard in my entire life. I was cracking up after that. Hi, happy Wednesday, happy hump day. We are on to some more of these previews. We are cooking through them. Today we have Vegas Matty on to talk about the Raiders, get some more of those futures in, and then we're going to have some fun and hang out with comedian Josh Sneed. So without further ado, Vegas Matty, what's up? How are you doing? You're doing this twice today. You were on with the guys, and now I'm making you talk about your Raiders again here.
That's okay. Yeah, I mean, I just got to be careful not to contradict myself from what I said earlier.
Right,
but
yeah,
I don't think that's going to be a problem. Yeah,
absolutely. Let's get right into it. They regressed from that 8 wins to 4 wins. Antonio Pierce, I think, had a little bit to do with that as well. You said goodbye to him. The gum-chewing beloved Pete Carroll is now over with you guys. New coach. Pete comes in. I think he's the oldest coach in the league now, if I'm not mistaken. Added Geno. I feel like you didn't know game to game what you're getting in quarterback. You didn't know. Talk to me about last season.
Oh man. Well, I can tell you, I'm a season ticket holder, and I only made it to 1 game last year. I think, well, actually 2, and one of them was the last game of the season. So, yeah, kind of goes to show it wasn't something I was looking forward to. I didn't really have high expectations. This year, I think Pete brings a lot of enthusiasm, his rah-rah nature, kind of from the college game and all that. Back after a year off, kind of rejuvenated. A lot of the guys are excited to see what he can do, especially Max Crosby. And I think he's really kind of become the leader of the team. He's the face of the franchise, and it's going to be basically on him and how the defense performs. Because I think the offense will be a lot better now that they have kind of a real quarterback back under center.
Yeah. And they have what? They have Gentry now too, and then you have Bowers.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
What he's able to do. And I think he really is, fantasy Twitter is fighting so much about which wide receiver Bowers is basically the wide receiver 1 here. And I think you could have it, you could have a headache, give yourself a headache trying to figure out who is going to end up getting more targets out of the rest of them.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely, you said it perfectly. I mean, he's wide receiver 1. Jacoby Myers, very underrated in my opinion. I think he's a really good wide receiver 2. He was kind of, when they had Devontae over here in Vegas, that was kind of a good 1-2 punch. And then they added Bowers. But things started pretty good last year. I mean, they upset the Ravens on the road, which is kind of stunning. But as you normally get with Gardner Minshew, it's more bad than good. I mean, he can pull something off. I think. Yeah, it's crazy to think that he beat Baltimore on the road 2 years in a row. The previous year, he did it with the Colts, and then he did it with the Raiders last year. But it kind of went downhill from there. Devontae wanted out. Obviously, he got his wish, kind of reunited with his old buddy, and that didn't really go too well. So I think he'll be better with the Rams now. But, I mean, it's really going to be a couple rookies, too. You got Jack Betch from TCU. I think he's a really good receiver, 2nd-round pick. And then Dante Thornton, he's 6'5", 4'3", 40. They're really excited about him. He's been practicing as one of the 3 wideouts, actually over Betch so far.
Okay.
And I think he's going to be able to stretch the field. So he's going to be a name, especially in fantasy football, I think people should keep an eye on, just because he he's so fast, and he'll be able to. He's kind of that prototypical Raiders burner that they've always wanted, and we'll kind of see what happens. But Bowers is still the number one, and Gentry is going to get a lot of catches out of the backfield too, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see Gentry and what he's able to do, especially in like a Pete Carroll system. Obviously, like there's nothing better than having, pairing those two together. I think it's easy to expect some like positive regression here. O-line is always going to be this team. It's always going to be something that pops up when people start talking about it. I will say though, I think their O-line is maybe slightly better than a lot of people talk about. I like what the rookies did. And I think in year 2, and then also having Geno, who, has played behind a bad O-line before too. Like, I think the combination of it, having the season bet, having a Gentry, having Pete Carroll, getting another year. Like, I expect to see this O-line actually probably outperform what people are expecting.
No, I agree. And it really is going to be up to them to kind of protect Geno because, Geno does a pretty good job getting the ball away, not taking sacks. I mean, I know he has been sacked quite a bit in his career, but, he is a veteran and that's kind of what they need. He's not going to be running too much, but he'll try to get the ball out quick. And, I think that's what Tom Brady wanted out of him, opposed to a guy like Sam Darnold, who he kind of just said, no way, there's no way I'm giving him $100 million. So they had the chance to get him, obviously, and they chose to trade for Geno instead. And he'll be around for a couple years, I think, maybe 2-3 years max. And maybe next year they'll draft somebody like the quarterback of the future, kind of like they did with Russ when he was in Seattle, maybe get like a 2nd, 3rd round pick. But the draft worked out really well for them. I know they wanted like one of those first 2 picks originally, thinking that Shedeur was going to be kind of at the top of the board. 7 or 8 shots at him and pass. So that kind of speaks to kind of what they think about the quarterbacks right now. And we'll kind of see what happens. But I think, Geno will be better than what they've had the last few years. And if he could just kind of stay healthy and play hopefully all 17 games, that they should be competitive. I think that's what I talked with the guys earlier with Ryan and Sean, was just that it's going to depend on him, playing most of the games. Cause they're, we don't want to have to see Aiden O'Connell or, have to see him take the field. He's not bad, but he's also not a starting quarterback.
No, he's not bad. He's like a spot treatment quarterback. He's as a backup, it's good. If you need a couple games out of him, he gets the job done. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. He's very serviceable for a couple games.
Yeah, he's okay. And I think that's why they held on to him and they didn't trade him in the offseason yet. But we'll see if he can earn that backup spot this year. I know they drafted a couple 1AA or FCS guys to try to compete there. And one of them is going to be wide receiver Tommy Mellott from Montana State, and then North Dakota State quarterback. They brought him up, and he might win the backup job. I think long term he might be an outside guy to keep an eye on.
Love it. As far as the defense goes, they had a very difficult schedule last year. I will give them that, on top of all these other things that we've kind of talked about here. They were 8th in DVOA in 2023, and then 17th last year, which is actually, again, like better than I remember. So I think there's a lot of things about this team that everyone remembers it being like very, very shitty and not going well. But like there was still like positives where not a lot of teams, at the bottom can say that. And I think there's still things to like. You get Crosby for a full season, and I don't know why he couldn't be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year.
Absolutely. I think that's a great bet. We were talking about that earlier. If you can get like 15-1 on him to win Defensive Player of the Year, especially with Christian Wilkins potentially out. I mean, he's going to have to be the man to carry the load. And I mean, he could lead the league in sacks. I think the Raiders' new GM, John Spytek, did a great job locking him up early before all these other big contracts came in, like your Myles Garrett and TJ Watt. I mean, his contract looks a lot better now that those guys are signed, and he's happy to be here. He just wants to be competitive, and I think if they could kind of get off to a good start, which if you look at the schedule, I think the first 6 games they have a pretty decent shot to have a winning record. It's that back end. The second half of the season is brutal.
It's a little brutal there, absolutely, when you look at it. And listen, we'll just jump right into the win total here. Sitting at 6.5 to, depending where you look, minus 150. The over under is plus 124. I do lean the over here. I'm not betting it at the minus 150 right now, but they clearly approach this season in win now mode. And I think that's obvious. Like we're not bringing in Pete Carroll and Geno Smith and drafting Ashton Gentry to not be in win now mode. And I think Pete Carroll is one of those coaches too that is going to want to win. He's not going to be a coach that's ever going to.
He's not getting any younger. He'll try, but
no. Yeah. And that's the thing too. He's not. You think he's going to stay? No, he wants to be there for like max 4 years, and then he wants to go retire and actually stay retired. So he wants to see them perform now. I think the spectrum of outcomes, like, yeah, is there a path when you look at their schedule and the division that they're in, with that strengthening a little bit, maybe this offseason with Denver, and then whatever you happen to think about the Chargers, which I'm still a little uncertain about my feelings about them. I haven't gotten quite into them yet, but do I see a path to 4 wins? Yeah, maybe. Like, I think if one injury here and some of these games don't go your way, I think they'll probably be a very good cover the spread team. But I went over here.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the first half of the season, I mean, the outside of the Washington game, they're all pretty much within 3 points or so. So as far as the lines go right now, and I could see them, getting off to a pretty good start, especially at home. And talked about this earlier with the guys, was that Geno indoors has been a great quarterback over his career. I think including retractable domes, he's 10-6 in his career. He's got 31 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. And people forget he beat Detroit on the road 2 of the last 3 years. So high scoring games against Detroit in those ones. But I mean, it's going to be up to the offense to kind of make sure that they could score like over 20 points. I think that's what's kind of hurt them the last couple of years, with the quarterbacks that they've had, is just being able to get over that 20-point mark. Because the defense, I mean, look what they did to Kansas City last year. I mean, it was an Aiden O'Connell fumble at the end of the game that cost them a shot at a game-winning field goal. That would have been 2 years in a row that they beat Kansas City on the road. So, I mean, they're definitely, they get up for games like against their division rivals. They play them pretty tough for the most part, but you just got to be able to score enough points. And that's the thing in this division, is they're all very high scoring teams, or potentially high scoring teams, with the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Chiefs.
I'm just thinking of this now, being that it is Vegas. Is there games where the fans do get overpowered by the other team, like very strongly, or is there still a very strong like Raiders fan base no matter the game? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, right. I can honestly say most of the games, majority of the home games are the opposition. More fans that make their presence felt, and the play on the field kind of dictates that. So, at the beginning of the game, it might seem like the Raiders fans are into it, but then like by the end of the game, man, I'll tell you, it's kind of tough to watch. That's like, you just have so many opposing fans that are just, happy to go in and get a win in your stadium. And it's kind of depressing. I mean, it's kind of like, I guess being a Chargers fan is similar, that's the Raiders kind of have a home field in LA when they go play there. Yeah. But the Chargers are known as a team that doesn't really travel well anyway either. So that's like what I think, having that as a home opener where you're guaranteed to have like your mostly home fans there. I don't think Chargers fans are going to travel like for week 2, but the Bears are coming here. Pittsburgh's been here the last couple of years. Overwhelmingly,
it goes everywhere. They'll be everywhere.
Yeah, even your Giants. I mean, I think when they were here, there are a lot of Giants fans came out to see whether they think they can win or not. There's a lot of transplants in Vegas, and then a lot of people love to travel here. It's kind of like when the Golden Knights started in the NHL here. A lot of opposing fans like to come to get that road trip experience in Vegas. And it's kind of still like the first few years of being in Vegas for these road teams that are coming in, and they want to see what a game's like in Vegas. And it's pretty cool. You can have a chance to have a home away from home here in Vegas when you see your team play.
Yeah. And also, why would I go to MetLife when my team, 1, can't play at home regardless, and 2, it's a dump? I would much rather go and watch them somewhere else. I will actually be at that game. I know Circa's doing a couple of events there, so I will be there that week. I'm going to attend that game. AFC West, they're 20-1 to be the favorites. How do you think this plays out here? Is there something that everyone's talking about this division-wise that you don't think they're getting right?
I mean, I like the Chargers a lot. I know you said you weren't sure what to think of them, but I mean, if you believe in Jim Harbaugh and kind of his game plan with or his plan for a program wherever he's gone, it's, you know, he eventually gets them competitive. I mean, they were a decent team last year, and I think they have a great running back, Marion Hampton. I think he's going to give Gentry a run for rookie of the year, and I actually like his odds at like around 10-1.
Okay.
There's Gentry. I mean, he'll probably end up winning it, but I mean, it's just the number is too small for him. I would take a shot on Hampton maybe, because if they can get a running game that's not dependent on, like last year they had J.K. Dobbins and they ended up going down to their third string running back to try to win games for him. And Herbert's got they got a second round receiver to come in there and help him. So they have tried to give Justin Herbert like some good weapons, and they've got a great tackle in Joe Alt. So I mean they have done everything they can to put him in position. It's just whether that their defense can kind of hold up too. I think it's all about the defenses in this division. Like Denver was unbelievable. Their defense was great last year, especially if you had a fantasy team and you rode them. They were awesome.
They absolutely were. Are you on, like, do you think they win over that 9.5 games, Denver?
Who's that? The Chargers?
Denver.
Denver? Yeah, Denver, I'm just not sure, because offensively, it'll be interesting to see how, with Dobbins coming from the Chargers to the Broncos, will he be the starter early on? And then you've got RJ Harvey. I mean, I'm not a big Bo Nix fan. I think he kind of played over his head last year. He played great, but like I was kind of surprised, because I was hoping the Raiders didn't draft him.
Right.
Because they had a shot between him and Bowers, and then he got picked before Bowers, and I was happy about the Bowers pick, but the Raiders still need kind of a long-term answer at quarterback, and I'm not sure that Bo Nix. It'll be interesting to see if he regresses, because as you know, with these rookies going into their second year, all these teams, the opposing teams, have a chance to study them. Same with Jaden Daniels. It'd be interesting to see if he regresses as well.
That's the thing. Now they have tape, and they've had a whole off season to watch it. They know what's up now.
Exactly.
And I think Bo Nix is probably, between him and Jaden, are definitely in position to probably see some regression there. I think this number on the Raiders to somehow sneak themselves, I won't even say somehow, because I think like the ceiling on this team is quite interesting, but plus 340 for them to make the playoffs is, especially around, but I'm not going to bet it, but I don't think the number. I couldn't knock someone if they want to get down on
it's tough. Yeah. Because you want to think of, will 3 teams from the division make the playoffs? And, will it be the Broncos or the Raiders maybe as that third team? Because I think the Chargers and the Chiefs definitely get in. It just depends if the Broncos regress enough. I think I have the Raiders at like around 7 and 10.
Okay.
But a bunch of those games could go either way. I mean, a strong start. When I was talking with Sean and Ryan, I pegged them at like getting off to a 5-3 start, and then like the second half of the year, I had them going like 2-7. So, I mean, a bunch of those games could go either way. And 10-7 probably gets in the playoffs. I don't know about 9-8, but there's a lot of games that can go either way. Last time the Raiders made the playoffs, they kind of, I think they were like 10-7 or right around there, and it was games that they kind of came back and just barely won. So, but covering the spread's another story. I think they're going to be a good team to cover with Geno in there.
Absolutely. Before we talk about some of the player lines and awards for this team, Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best Ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Underdog is also a great place to play Pick'em, where you can win up to 500x your entry. I have another entry for you for tomorrow. The weekend starts tomorrow for the 3M Open. Got Sam Burns and Eckroat finishing position better, top 20, 5.37x your monies. So sign up with Smalls to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code Smalls. And you guys know, best place in the entire world, entire universe, Circa Las Vegas is hosting the world's biggest pro football contest, Circa Million, Circa Survivor, and Circa Grandissimo, with over 21 million in guaranteed prizes. You can't call yourself a true D-Gen if you're not competing in the Circa football contest. And a bunch of us from SGPN will be out there for Circa contest weekend, August 21st to the 23rd. Come hang with us. A bunch of live shows, open bars, and you get 15% off at the Circa with promo code SGP15. And I can bring Matty back in for the next part of this, because why don't you tell me about proxies? I don't even have to do the work. You can tell everyone about how the contests are still open to everyone, even though if they're not there. I mean, I don't know if everyone really fully understands the proxy. Maybe you could literally just explain it to them.
Yeah. So in order to participate in these contests, you either have to be a local that's within Nevada every week to submit your picks, or you have to hire a proxy like myself to put the picks in for you every week. Because that's the key to these contests, is you have to be able to have your picks in locally every week. So that's the name of the game. All you have to do is get to Vegas to sign up for them. You meet us at the sports book. We sign some paperwork. It takes like 10, 15 minutes. And then basically you will submit your picks to us through our website. We've got a portal, a secure portal that you'll just go in, log in, username, password, make your picks every week. You hit a button, you get an email confirmation. We get an email confirmation. We put them in. We spend all day Saturday at the sports book putting them in. And I mean, it's kind of that simple. The key part is picking the right proxy, because there's a lot of people out there that kind of followed our lead and tried to make it a living for themselves. And we've been doing this 20 years. So we've been doing it a long time. We just relaunched our website. There's our new logo here. So if you go to footballcontest.com, you can get all the information about these football contests. And the Grandissimo it's a major one. That's $100,000 entry fee.
How many people have signed up?
Yeah, there's 8 entries so far, and we've got 4 of them as our clients right now. So, hopefully we get a bunch more. They need to hit 15 to break even, basically, on the prize pool. Otherwise, Derek Stevens is going to have to come out of pocket and pay the difference. That's called an overlay. So, if they have to hit 15, it's worth $1.5 million guaranteed. So, say it just stays on 8, then you get pretty much think you have a good shot to at least make it to the end or whatever, split that pot. The Circa Survivor, it is a Survivor contest, the Grandissimo, and then the regular Survivor contest, it's $1,000 entry fee. The guarantee is $15 million. So say, there's 10 people, 15, I'll use 15 as I'm not going to worry about doing the math, but 15 people at the end each get $1 million. But you have to make it through the whole season. There's a couple extra weeks that are involved over the holidays, like Thanksgiving and Christmas. So you have to pick extra teams that are going to be playing during those special time periods. So you actually have to go 20-0 to win that contest, which is a little tough. I think last year they had, somewhere between 6 and 8 people split the pot. Every year they've had people split, though. There's never been like a single winner of that contest. But there's $15 million guaranteed, but I think there's going to be over 20,000 entries this year, which will put the pot over $20 million. So that's and
you guys do something different than most, like the other proxies and for the Survivor contest, right? If you get knocked out, correct me if I'm wrong. If you get knocked out after the first 3,
yes, correct. Yeah. So we've got like a refund credit program. Cool. So if you get knocked out in the first week, your proxy fees, we will refund 50% of those in the form of a credit for the next season. If you get knocked out in week 2, 40%, and then week 3, 30%. So a lot of people got screwed with the Bengals the first few weeks last year. I can't even tell you. I think like 80% of the field was out like after the first month last year. So we kind of, we feel bad for our clients who get knocked out. It makes our job a lot easier because we don't have to put in as many picks. But, it's tough because there's people who get knocked out that first week, and they pay their entry fee, proxy fees, and stuff like that, and they got no action the rest of the year. So it's tough. We thought that was a unique kind of creative way to give back to people in case they get knocked out early.
Very cool. And I know you can get $50 off if you use, you mentioned the SGPN. Let's talk about some of these player lines. I don't know if there's anything that you have bet already on this team here. I'm trying to see what stood out to me. Oh, I was going to ask you, any thoughts on Coach of the Year for Pete Carroll?
Oh man, I mean, they would definitely have to make the playoffs.
They would have to make the playoffs, right?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, they normally try to give it to like a guy coming in like and really changing the team. I mean, they were terrible last year, so I guess if they finish above 500 and they were super competitive, I mean, the playoffs have to be a must for him to win Coach of the Year. But we'll see what happens. I think Gentry, to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, got a good shot at that. Yeah, very good shot. I mean, he's the favorite, obviously, and then Max Crosby. I think that's probably my favorite bet, and then possibly have most sacks too, because I think this year he's just going to wreak havoc on the AFC West in particular. He knows these teams so well. Yeah. And I mean, when Mahomes starts giving you praise and saying you're the best defensive end out there, then I think that's pretty high praise.
Yeah, the defensive player of the year was one that I put a sprinkle on. Another one that stood out to me here was I had bet Gentry's. This was a wild. This line has moved. His rushing yards was 1,500. I probably wouldn't knock anyone if they wanted to take it at where it is right now. To lead the league in rushing yards is 18-1. I would have thought that way more rookies would have done this, and I was very wrong. There's only been 6 rookie running backs that have led the league in rushing yards. Is that crazy?
It is crazy. Yeah, and I was looking at the rushing touchdowns right before I came on here. I think to lead the league in rushing touchdowns, he's like 40-1.
Yeah,
which is pretty nuts. But I do like total touchdowns potentially, because I do think he's going to get some receiving touchdowns. He might not be all rushing touchdowns like a Derrick Henry, but I mean, they're going to use him as a true weapon, like receiving and running. So we'll kind of see what happens. But I think that's going to be, he's definitely going to be a force. He's going to be the whole offense. I know they got Mostert as well, but I mean, he's going to be the man.
Yeah, I think I have a ticket. I just remembered this when there was the rumbling, like Matthew Stafford was kind of in the mix, at one point. I remember I bet Brock Bowers to lead the league in receiving yards at some point, before that. That was a long time ago.
You never know. You never know.
You never know. And then Brock Bowers, he's 4th in the odds to have the most regular season receptions. Any thoughts on that one there? He was 3rd last year behind St. Brown and Chase, but is there enough to go around now?
Yeah. I mean, I think they have more balance maybe, but I mean, it's also, I mean, you have Geno Smith slinging the ball out there. So he threw for over 4,300 yards last year, which was the best single season for his passing yards. So I think it's definitely possible that, that Brock could get 12 or 1,300 yards, or was that what it was? The passing, the receiving yards, or was it the catches you were talking about?
It was reception, most receptions.
Yeah. I mean, he's still going to get a ton though. I'd have a hard time believing that, some of the rookies, it's hard. They have 2 rookies that are basically trying to fill in the other spot besides Myers. So Myers he's going to get his touches, but he's got to stay healthy the whole season too. But I think Bowers still will end up getting 100 receptions at least. Yeah.
And this is I haven't seen this market just before we jumped on. It had popped up. So if you are listening, that Neighbors is up there at 12-1. If anyone is interested, I know we've talked about it a little bit, but I'll let you guys handle that as you will. I think that's a nice number for Neighbors. Let's get into last kind of questions here before I let you get out of here. You've been fantastic. What's your final record prediction? Is it 7-10? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I got to stick with that. I mean, I would love to say a winning record, but it's just that second half of the season, outside of playing your Giants, I don't really know if they're going to get many wins down the stretch there, and that's it depends on that Chiefs game too. They play the Chiefs in the finale, and whether they have something to play for, or maybe they can get to 8 wins. I don't know, but I'm gonna stick to the 7-10, and hopefully they surprise me and end up, being a playoff contender. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think I am going to be with you there on the 7 and 10. And if they win more, good. I'm okay that I'm wrong with that, but I don't want to go under the 7. It feels icky, I think, with this team to take something under the 7 there. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th in the division. How do you see it playing out?
Well, I'd love for them to finish 3rd. I think the Broncos, I still flip a coin between them and the Broncos as the 3rd place team. But yeah, hopefully they finish 3rd, but it's just such a tough division. I mean, outside of the NFC North, I think it's the toughest division in football. So we'll see what happens. But I hope they do well, but I'm not going to be super optimistic considering the last few years.
Yeah. Who's the player to watch in the 2025 season? It can be on any side of the ball. Could be a name no one really thinks about. It could be a name that everyone's thinking about. Who's the player to watch? Team.
Well, I think I mentioned Dante Thornton, the rookie wide receiver. Definitely, he's from Tennessee. Also, I saw somebody in the chat mention Malcolm Kuntz, who I think he was injured last year, but he can be a real force opposite Crosby, defensive end. They re-signed him to a 1-year deal. He's got potential to have 10, 12 sacks as well. So I think that's going to be the key for the defense is, getting Max a little help so that he doesn't have to do everything.
Right. That would be nice. And keep him maybe a little healthy. We can keep some health there. And then What is your Super Bowl prediction here for this season?
Oh man, I really like I've liked the Bills last few years. I think finally they get it done this year.
Right.
Depending on what happens with the NFC team, but yeah, I mean, I think this is the year that they finally get over the hump, and maybe they get to host an AFC Championship game, so they don't have to go to Kansas City or anything like that. But we'll see. I'm gonna go with the Bills. I know they're chalk and everything, but I think they get it done this year.
Yeah, I'd love to see the Bills or the Ravens get it done. I would not be upset with either of those. You've been fantastic. Let everyone know where they can find you, and hopefully everyone will join us contest weekend and sign up and use you.
Yeah, for sure. We got some fantasy football going on too.
Yes.
I'm hosting a draft. I know you're hosting a draft right before me. So if you go to beatvegasmatty.com and scroll down to August 23rd, I think I got like 5 or 6 spots left in my league.
Amazing. I got to sign up for
we're taking care of the food and beverages. So normally it's like $100 on top of the entry fee, but we're taking care of that, so you can enjoy stadium swim.
Amazing.
Hopefully Saturday at 6 p.m. won't be like overly hot, but host that draft. Otherwise, footballcontest.com, at football contest on X if you want to check that out, and also at Vegas_Matty on X as well.
Awesome. Be sure to go follow Matty and use him as your proxy.
Thank you.
I'll let you get out of here.
Thank you so much.
Of course. We're brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the MLB, WNBA, golf, and of course, football futures. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, easy deposit, and lightning fast payouts. I have more golf bets for you. How about Grillo over Fowler tomorrow for round 1 at -111. And I also like Smalley, first round leader. And I just lost where he is on here. Smalley, where'd you go? I think it's 68-1, 75-1, even better. Delicious. Like that quite a bit. Matt Wallace as well, 68-1. And now I'm going to bring on Josh Sneed, been a comedian for 25 years, new special Fat Ryan. How's it going?
Welcome. I'm doing very well. How are you?
Got a Bengals. I'm good. I'm very good. I'm excited to have you on here. You have a new special. I watched a clip from it and I was cracking up because I went to my younger cousins. I'm getting right into this. I went to my younger cousins and I confirmed before the show 9U baseball tourney. They had walk-up songs. And I was like, what is, it's like A$AP Rocky, Gunna, like songs I don't even know. And it was the most wild experience of my entire life. That one of the moms was cheering for her kid, calling him Big Daddy. It was something else. So you coached then?
I gave up because of stuff like that. I'm just a parent now, but yes, in the new special, I do share a story about my time as a little league coach and playing against teams like that have the sponsorships and the crazy amounts of money, and play 65 baseball games a spring at 9 years old is just insane. But we joke about it, we move on, and now I just watch from the sidelines.
Yeah. You have a Bengals hat on, so I can't ignore that before I ask you some other things. How the Bengals going to do next year?
I am optimistic.
Good.
If we can figure out how to sign Trey Hendrickson, then I think I'll be a lot more optimistic.
Yeah.
The Shamar Stewart thing is insane to me. I don't know if
so weird. Honestly, it's like
basically the Bengals are like, hey, if you promise not to get arrested, you'll make all your money. And he's like, I don't want that in the contract. Like, who doesn't want that in the contract? Like, I totally side with the Bengals on this. I do think they need to pay Trey Hendrickson. He's led the league in sacks last year. He was tied for second in sacks the year before. Should have been defensive player of the year over TJ Watt, but that's another episode. I think if they get that done, they look good. I don't think there's a better offense in the league than they have.
Okay.
But the defense is suspect. Last year, the craziest stat last year was 4 times Joe Burrow scored over 31 points in a game and lost last year. And that happened to Tom Brady like twice in his whole career. So it just shows you, like, no matter how many points you score, it might not be enough. So I just hope they can get this D figured out. But I do like their new D coordinator, and I'm a season ticket holder. So of course I'm going to be optimistic, especially in July.
I will say one of my favorite stadiums and like just the fans and everything about it was going to a Cincy game that I went to.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's a good experience. It's
It
good
is.
people. The stadium, it's aesthetically, it is a little left to be, I wish they added some more color in there. They're trying to upgrade.
It's all right though. It's good. It's an old Midwestern good feel. Yeah.
And good tailgates, good food and good tailgates. So
I think Joe Burrow is very much a possibility for MVP this year because they do this thing now where it's like, oh, Lamar won, so we'll give it to Josh. And I think if they had, made it to the playoffs, we're probably having a different discussion about who MVP was last year with Joe Burrow. The Stewart thing is funny though, because I feel like it's hard sometimes to side with the Bengals front office because they make some very interesting choices.
Yep.
But like basically they just don't want him to go to. They don't want to pay him if he's in prison.
Right.
And he's like, no. What do you mean?
If you can't like be on board with that. Yeah. Like it's one of the rare occasions where the locals are actually defending Mike Brown. Like that never happens.
So much sense. Totally fine. Out of the AFC North, I don't think I've ever asked a Bengals fan this. Who's your least favorite like rivalry? Like what team base or fan base do you not a fan of?
I mean, Steelers, it's not even close.
Passionate people.
Yeah. It's, they, as a Cincinnati fan, for the Bengals, it's the Steelers, and for the Reds, it's the Cardinals, and it's the same thing. Every year from that fan base, if they are not having a good season, they remind you how good they've been historically. And if they are having a good season, they rub it in for that season. There's never a way to combat a Steelers or a Cardinals fan because they always have an excuse of, well, we used to be better than you, or we're better than you now.
Yeah.
They never give flowers.
It's funny because I've joked before, actually probably not on the show because I didn't want it to become a clip, but now I'm saying it out loud. Like, I don't know. I feel like the Steelers and the Giants, the only difference is that the Steelers they just win 9 games and then lose in the playoffs. Like, and I think I'd rather just be shitty and then just be good again. Because what the fuck is the point of that? I would rather have what we're doing than whatever the fuck you guys have been doing because there's no point to that. You're just in purgatory.
Well, I always have this discussion with my comedian friends from like Boston or New York or Los Angeles of like, would you rather be a fan that anything less than a championship feels like a disappointment every year, or a fan of the teams like the Bengals and the Reds where perennially you're not in contention, so that one magical year where you find yourself in the mix, or those few years where you have a window to win, it's like insane around here.
Right.
And it does not take long to think about the times where Marvin Lewis shows up and goes 8-8 and it felt like we won the Super Bowl. Like it was that bad, so to be up on a high horse now and talk about missing the playoffs, although it's disappointing, I do remember how bad it used to be.
Yeah. I almost like wish I didn't remember how good it was. People hate this. I always say that. Like, I wish I didn't know what it was like to win a Super Bowl because now whatever this is fucking sucks.
But Howard, do you feel about the Giants? I mean, obviously the quarterback was such a big question mark. Do you feel like they are laying the groundwork to get better? I'm a huge Malik Neighbors guy. I've been buying a lot of his cards. So,
are you into cards?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we can go on a whole. Should we do?
I know. I saw
today. I was ripping luminance all morning. I like the groundwork of this team. I think obviously quarterback is still a question mark, but it's not Glennon, it's not Fromm, it's not fucking Tommy Cutlets. It's not all these bums from wherever they're pulling them out of that would never even start on another NFL team. You have options there and they, haven't been able to score points. Of course, we have a hard schedule. Everyone today, thank you very much for all the tags that Jackson Dart threw a pick 6 in training. I don't fucking care, to be clear. I could care less what he does. That's why he's sitting. I like a lot of the pieces that they have. I think their defense is going to be very good this year. But that O-line, Malik's basically the whole team. Brian Daboll is very debatable, in my opinion. I think his success has rode on Josh Allen, and I have not seen whatever this QB whisper is. So you drafted your quarterback. You better do your whispering because
yeah. But the O-line, I mean, that hits home, you know. I was at the Super Bowl when we lost to the Rams, and I remember being up high and seeing Joe Burrow on the ground with a wide open Jamar Chase down the sideline because Jalen Ramsey fell down, and you just like I replay it over and over again, and it's like if we had one more second, it's the difference between, you know, winning and losing a Super Bowl, and that line has been so bad, but I think it's much improved this year. I like how it's shaping up this year.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. It's also, and at least Joe Burrow has been able to overcome that, because most quarterbacks, it's like that's it. Like your career is total. Once you get scared and stuff, like it's over. It's game over. And a lot of teams do that. We'll move on to, I creeped on you, obviously, like a proper creep. You're coming on the show. I do a little creeping. You went to the Masters. This was Masters rejection week. Tradition like no other. Everyone likes to post there. I got rejected. You all got rejected. Like it's not, this is a new thing. But so you went in 2022, right?
Yeah. So this is the most first world, no one will be sad for me story. But in 2019, I got on today, theoretically, I got the notification that I won the lottery. I won 4 tickets to the Tuesday practice round of the Masters in 2020, which was canceled 3 weeks before because of COVID. And then they had it in October, November, and no fans. So they said in 2021, we're going to take half of the people who were supposed to come in 2020. I was not in that half. So we got tickets to the following year, 2022. We drive down there. We decide we're going to hit the Masters on Tuesday. Then we're going to go to Pinehurst and have a 4-day golf trip in North Carolina the rest of the week. We get to the grounds in Augusta, 9 a.m., 10:15, skies open up. They shut the whole place down. They say, we're not going to reopen today. You'll be given tickets for next year's Masters in 2023, which I was not able to attend because we took a family trip to London for the kids' spring break. So I was on the grounds for an hour and a half. I didn't even get to shop at the store.
Oh my God.
It was a glorious 90 minutes, but
did you get to do, I went in 2023. I did not win the lottery. I'm going to keep to myself how I got tickets, to be completely honest. It's nothing weird, but I had tweeted about it. Someone just happened to DM me and was like, oh, one of the players has extra tickets. I'm best friends with them. Do you really want to go? And I was like, yeah. I went down there, not even knowing if I was going to actually get them. Went to the little office, and there they were. A former Masters winner, my name just on the little thing. I went for 1 day. It was great. But I think that if you've been to the Masters before, you shouldn't be able to go again, at least within like 10 years. Like, I think other people need to get the opportunity. So I don't apply anymore because I've already gone, and I feel selfish if I were to apply and then get them again, because I would go. I'm not going to give them to anyone, is the thing.
You should totally apply. Okay. I have a friend who owns a company that has probably less than 100 employees, but a good amount of employees. And every year he has all of them submit for the Masters lottery, and whoever wins gets a cash prize because they have to give him the tickets. But every year, pretty much, he ends up stumbling into them.
That's kind of genius, actually.
Yeah.
It's got to be hurtful to have to apply. I did not apply this year.
I did an outing one time where one of the prizes was tickets to the Masters, and I guess there's certain people who have them annually guaranteed, and they can be passed on through your will and everything else. But that's insane to me that you would have guaranteed. I
need to know. I want to know a little bit more information. How do you fucking get guaranteed Masters tickets? That seems crazy.
There's a whole other world out there that we are not.
We have no idea. Well, the Masters itself, it's like the weirdest thing. Like you walk in there, it's the closest thing I can describe it to is Disney. Like there's birds perfectly chirping, everything's green. Like no one has their phones. It's a very surreal experience. So if you got the opportunity to go,
I remember standing somewhere and going, we are in the fairway. Like we're going to get hit because we are in the fairway, but you're not. You're just in a completely safe space, standing on the nicest grass you've ever stood on. That's just made for a walkway.
It's absolutely, absolutely crazy. What are your favorite sporting events to attend? Baseball, basketball, NFL?
I love a baseball game.
Love
I
a
mean, it's
baseball
just
game.
like, I don't know, the weather and I'm a purist. I mean, I do like the pitch clock. I like the things that they're doing, but it does not bother me to sit for an entire afternoon with friends or my children, and take in a baseball game. Like, I'm never like looking at my watch, like, when's this thing going to be over? I love Bengals games. I like all sports, especially attending them.
Yeah.
But I think baseball would probably have to be my favorite.
I think baseball is probably up there for me too. NFL, I do like to watch at home. I think just because like all the games are going on, and I don't like watching Giants games even with people, so I don't really want to be in public for those. I like going to a golf tournament though. A good golf tournament is a blast, like being able to walk around. But you worked for a minor league baseball team, is that what I was informed?
Man, you got some real old nuggets here.
I told you I creeped. I also got some information from my producer.
Oh, good old Ryan.
Who's not, is he the fat Ryan of your special?
He is not. So I'll tell you this, the fat Ryan, if you go to YouTube videos of me for the last 15 years, the comment section is just littered with people referring to me as a fat Ryan Gosling. And so that's where the name of the special comes from. I wanted to call it Fat Ryan Gosling Separated at Girth, but it was too long of a title and there were some legal ramifications to that. So it is Fat Ryan, but that's why it's Fat Ryan. But I tell this story in one of my other specials because it was the worst gig that I've ever had. But when I was like 6 months into doing comedy, someone from the Dayton Dragons, which is the single A affiliate of the Reds, they came up to me and said, "How would you like to do stand up in front of a sold out stadium?" And I was like, "Of course, I'm ready for this." Just like an idiot, agreed to do it. And the gag was that they were going to dress me up like the home plate umpire, and that between innings he would come into the dugout, and then I would walk out with the mask on, and they would tell everybody that the umpire is also a comedian and he was going to do his act.
Okay.
And so I go up to Dayton. They give me my uniform, which is like 2 sizes too small. I'm a big dude, obviously, fat Ryan. It was not a good look on me. And I'm talking to this guy, and I wish I could remember his name, but he was a former linebacker for the Jets, and his wife worked for the Dragons. So in the summers, they would spend in Dayton, Ohio, when he wasn't playing football. And his job was basically to just run around with the mascot and throw T-shirts out into the crowd. Like, everybody knew this guy because he was just a massive dude, and everybody loved this guy. And I'm talking to him, and I go, "Man, I feel like this isn't, like, something's wrong. I feel like I shouldn't be doing this." And he goes, "If anything happens, I'll save you." And I was like, "All right, I trust you." And so we're about to go out there at the bottom of the end of the fourth, and it's the bottom of the fourth, and there's a close play at home plate with the Dragon star player Willie Mo Pena. And the umpire calls him out when he should have been safe. Everybody saw it on the scoreboard, and they get into an argument, and he throws him out of the game. And now the whole stadium hates the home plate umpire, who I'm about to pretend to be and try to get laughs. And so they go, "Do you want to wait a couple innings?" And I was like, "I'd like to wait a couple games if that's okay with you." And he's like, "Well, if you don't go out there, we can't pay you." And I was like, "All right, well, let's wait a couple innings." So now it's like the bottom of the sixth. It finally ends. They say, "Tonight's umpire is also a comedian and he's going to do his act for you." And I walk out and they're booing me the whole, I haven't even said a word. Like, I'm just walking to home plate.
No.
And so I start making fun. Like, back then I had this joke about the flea market and people who go to flea markets. And I was making fun of them. And I said something like, "I went to the flea market and there's not that much white trash in a dumpster behind a paper plate factory." And so everybody kind of gets their attention, and now they're listening. They're not laughing, but they've stopped booing. And I've only got a couple minutes left. And so I decide I'm going to go into my NASCAR stuff. And I go, "Are there NASCAR fans here?" And everybody's like, "Yeah." And I go, I go, you know who loves NASCAR? People that go to flea markets. Boo! I mean, like they're throwing hot dogs and pretzels. Like it's all hitting me at home
hit
plate.
With a hot dog.
And I'm standing there and I'm like, I don't know what to do because this hasn't gone the way that it was supposed to, but I don't know if I should just walk away. And I see that guy come jogging out of the dugout. And I'm like, cool, he's going to come tell everybody what happened, but he doesn't slow down. He spears me like Goldberg in a wrestling match, just like takes me out, completely knocks the wind out of me. I'm laying on the ground. He picks up the microphone and then he picks me up with one hand, just picks me up with one hand and throws me over his shoulder. And he's like, Dragon fans, I'll take out the trash tonight. And everybody's like, yeah. And like, he's carrying me to the dugout and I can't breathe. I'm in his ear going, and we get back underground and he says, were you crying out there? And I was like, no, I wasn't crying. I thought I was going to die. I can't believe I agreed to do this for $35. And to this day, it is the worst gig that I've ever had, but it does give me the credit of working for a minor league baseball team.
That is hilarious. They basically, that was like, you got paid to be publicly humiliated. Yeah. You were, that is so funny. It doesn't even sound like a real story.
Oh, it's 100% real.
It sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. That's the kind of stuff I get myself into, you know, like the stuff that people know me for in comedy is, you know, I farted on Jessica Simpson on an airplane because she wasn't nice to me. I told that story in my Comedy Central special. And for like 5 years, people would come up to me and be like, did you fart on Jessica Simpson? And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what I do. You know, it's like, I don't want to be known for these things. It just happens to be the funny things that I like to talk about on stage.
You have to tell me one more. It's only fair. You gotta give one more. One of the things that you're known for that's ridiculous. Now I gotta watch your special when I jump off here.
In this new special, I open with a story about visiting the Jelly Belly factory in San Francisco. And I think from this new special, it'll be the story that people kind of latch on to. You know, it was the Jessica Simpson thing, and then it was the umpire thing. And then in another special, I talked about the nightmares of having a garage sale in Midwest America. I think it'll be the Jelly Belly story. So that'll be something for people to listen to if they check out the special.
Yeah. And then a quick story. You worked with Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah. Are you a Mitch Hedberg fan? Are you a comedy fan?
I'm not gonna sit here and act like I did not Google who it was when Ryan.
So I know Ryan is. I know your producer is. And Mitch Hedberg was, and people in the chat who might know, he's still to this day my favorite comedian. We've lost him. He's passed away. But super funny, incredibly clever, incredibly kind. I highly recommend, if you aren't familiar with his work, you look it up. But he did a lot of really clever one-liners that just, you know, were either super silly or made you think, you know, like you know, I like an escalator because an escalator can never break. It can only become stairs. You know, is like one of his classic ones. My personal favorite is, I like tennis, but the thing that's depressing about tennis is no matter how good I get, I'll never be as good as a wall. I just think it's such a brilliant joke, you know. And then he goes into, you know, I think Pringle's original intention was to make tennis balls.
It's funny because those are funny because it takes like really stupid people a really long time to figure out what the fuck they're talking about. Like that's the classic, like I don't get it. Like
when you're in the moment, right? You're in the comedy club and you're listening to them, you start to understand his cadence and his joke structure.
Awesome.
And so your mind just sort of switches into this mode of not really knowing what to expect, but knowing how to unlock it a little bit quicker in the moment.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of it is
awesome.
That, you know, to hear the distance it takes for people to get the joke based off of the different times the laughter starts in the room. But he was amazing to me. He was the first comedian that took me out on the road to open for him. He recorded the intro for my first CD. He told people like your producer, when they asked who are your favorite comics, he said, watch this guy, which was incredibly kind of him. He was just like the nicest dude, and I miss him, and I will always sing his praises, and anybody that'll listen to me, I'll tell you, go watch his stuff even before you watch mine.
I love it. You've been fantastic. Do you mind if we play a game that I came up with quite literally today?
Sure. And okay. I want to know more about your card breaking stuff so that I can pop in and
I'll have
my
to send you. I do
degenerateness.
Breaks on Wednesday, Fridays, Sunday, sometimes Thursdays, another new release on Friday. Big card girl over here.
All right.
Yeah, good stuff. This game is called Who Has a More Punchable Face? Okay. It's new. I came up with it today. I actually quite literally texted Ryan. I'm like, I'm trying to think of something good. We haven't done like a fun game in a while. He's like, I'm so tired. And for some reason, all I can think about is who would you rather punch more in the face? He's like, I think it's good. Let's go with it. Okay. We'll start from the top here. Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers?
Man, I think it's Aaron Rodgers now. I don't think I would have said that 5 or 6 years ago, but he's so not likable anymore to me.
I think it's got to be Aaron Rodgers. I think if it was Tom Brady's old face, I would probably pick Tom Brady because it brings back other memories. But like, I don't know who this person is. With that,
he doesn't. He seems like he doesn't take himself as serious as I thought he did with the roast and everything else. And Aaron Rodgers takes himself more seriously than I thought he did. So if it's today, and he's a Steeler. I mean, what other reasons do I need at this?
Yeah, 100%. Okay, next to our Nick Sirianni and Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, it's got to be Mahomes.
Oh, really?
I'm not anything to do with the NFC, so I have no squabble with Sirianni, but I can't stand Mahomes. He's been our kryptonite.
Now that Mahomes cut his rat tail off, I feel like I'm fine with him now. But Nick Sirianni, like, I just think he needs his ass kicked so bad. Like, this is supposed to be most punchable face. I actually think he needs his ass kicked. Okay, next two here are Peyton Manning and Eli Manning.
I will also say, just on the last one, that I think Patrick Mahomes also has the more punchable voice.
The voice is out of control. He's also
I'm gonna go Peyton Manning here, because there's more real estate to work with. But also, I feel like Eli has become more likable since he quit playing. I legitimately used to wonder if there was something wrong with him mentally. And I just feel like these days he also takes himself less serious. He doesn't mind being the punchline. I respect that. Peyton, he's got it coming, man.
Yeah. Eli is pretty funny too. Like he's got like some good little one-liners on Twitter that I'm like, all right, Eli, I didn't know you had it in you. That's pretty good. Okay, next two here got Jay Cutler and Phillip Rivers. Oh no, actually Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
Wilson, who I want to punch so bad. He's my quarterback, but it's okay. Or Jay Cutler.
I'm gonna go Jay Cutler because he just seems like he'd be into it. You know what I mean? Like Russell Wilson.
He'd like, do it again.
Russell Wilson is like a golden retriever of quarterbacks to me. He just like has no care in the world, and he is has no self-awareness whatsoever. Everything I've heard about Jay Cutler makes him sound totally unlikable.
Yeah.
But I could see him being in a Fight Club type guy where he's like, I'll pay you to do it.
That picture is pissing me off of Russell Wilson. We gotta get him off the screen. Cliff Kingsbury or Josh McDaniels?
Oh,
Josh McDaniels looks like he's always like he likes like smelling his own farts. I've always said that. I don't know how to explain it other than that.
I would go Josh McDaniels here. Kingsbury, like he's too pretty to hit. Like you don't want to mess that
pretty
up.
Privilege.
You know? The thing that has always bugged me about Josh is he's like, I can do it on my own, and then he leaves and goes somewhere and he's terrible, and then he comes back like, will you hire me back? And then he's like, I can do it on my own, and he can't.
I don't know if there's something right with that guy. There looks like there's nothing. I don't know. Fuck that guy, honestly.
You'd have to tell me where his face begins and his neck ends, But
his ears are freaking me out in that picture too. I don't know what's going on. And last one here is going to be Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy.
Oh man, that's a tough one. I really do like both of these guys. I don't know. Maybe Rory, just because like the tight shirts, like
the nipples.
Yeah, like
so off-putting. Yeah.
You know, what are you doing, man? Like, I felt like, I don't know when this happened. It was in the last couple years where he's like, I got muscles. I don't know. Tiger just seems like a dude you want to be buddies with, and Rory's like the club champion who gets mad if you parked in his spot in the parking lot.
Yeah. He's just so everything he does. I hate when he's starting to do good. I was telling my friend this, and then I'll let you get out of here. It's like he like does this prance when he starts like doing well on the course, and it's just the most irritating thing in the entire world. Where all of a sudden he looks so calm, and he's like I can't fucking stand it. I'm gonna find a video of it not this weekend, obviously because he's not playing, but I can't do it. He like gets all cocky. He's like the way he walks with his chest out, like I fucking can't. Everything about him is so off-putting to me.
And then he opens his mouth, and you're like, "All right, where's the Lucky Charms?" Because we're good here. Like all that macho-ness just goes out the door when he's like, "Oh, I had that dirty."
I love it. Let everyone know where they can find you, where they can find your special, and I'll let you get out of here.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. The new special is Fat Ryan. Right now it's available at a website called disruptorcomedy.com. So if you go to disruptorcomedy.com, you'll see it on there. In the coming weeks, it'll be on Amazon, Apple, that sort of stuff. And then down the road, it'll find its way to YouTube and places like that. But right now, if you went to Disruptor Comedy, that'd be great. JoshSneed.com has all my tour dates. So if you see me in your neck of the woods, come out and see the show live and say hello. And I'm sure you'll see me creeping in a card break room.
Yes, absolutely.
Ohio Joker will be the name
to. Don Russell Elite comes out on Friday. I'll let you get out of here. Thanks again. We'll have to get you on soon. Thanks for sharing.
I would love to. All right. Thanks. Have a good night.
Yeah. And now it's time for extra holes.
Yay. This will be a quick one. All right. First.
And I will never have an OnlyFans. Thank you for the comment in the chat. Go ahead.
Okay. So here we go. We're going to start with this one because you sent me this tweet and it was so funny.
It's so funny. Okay. So if you haven't listened to the Giants preview I went on for SGPN, I won't spoil the whole thing for it. It's a very good episode. Go listen to it. It's hilarious. They were kind of like giving Terrell shit for not watching The Sopranos for a while. And I was sitting in the background like, please don't fucking ask me if I've seen it. Please don't ask me. I was like looking down, being awkward, being so fucking quiet. And then they asked me and I just was shaking my head. I couldn't even get the no out. But these two cracked me up. First of all, what is that? That meme is hilarious. The pasta in the GUN. Do we know? Can I say gun? I do this every time I bring up the word gun. I don't know why it makes me so uncomfortable. And then this comment. I think this is something like I want to get this tattooed somewhere, or I need a t-shirt. I might just put this on a t-shirt. Did I tap my mic? No. Like, is there any way she is not Italian? She looks like the main character. She looks like the main character from every Sweet 16 party I went to in North Jersey in the 80s. Say hi to her dad's members only jacket for me. That is so funny.
That's so, I never thought of it. And you do kind of look like you could be on Jersey Shore with Snooki too.
Well, one time, I have been called Snooki before.
I wasn't calling you Snooki. I was just saying you could be Snooki's more together friend.
Maybe not back in the day, but yeah, I thought when I was reading that he was going to mention like a movie or something, but he meant just like the main character at a party like that he attended. What are you talking about? Very funny.
All right. So last thing is Brando in the chat said he'd never met a Cardinals fan before. And I'm like, I'm a Cardinals fan.
I went to school in Arizona.
They were giving me shit about it, but here is a class photo of me from 4th grade. There I am, right in the middle,
Ryan.
sporting a Cardinals jersey. $5,000 if somebody can name the player whose jersey I'm sporting.
Be careful when offering up that. Also, the girl to your right looks like my cousin.
The girl I don't remember her name. But yeah, that jersey is Stump Mitchell, who went on to be the running backs coach for the Browns for a while. So there you go. And Brando says, hell yeah. Thank you, Brando. Thank you.
Love it. I love it so much.
So I'm a true Cardinals fan. All right. So we can wrap up this show. That was a really good show. Thanks, Steph.
It was a great show. Absolutely. Next week, I think there's some good. Next week's a nice little lineup. Not that all the weeks aren't, but I know we do the Bears preview, the Jags preview, and the Titans preview. Sweatpant Jesus, Nate Collins. We love Nate Collins. Nate Collins is coming on. A lot of really great guests. Be sure to.
Yeah, we have Sweatpants Jesus coming on.
Jesus is coming on the fucking show. The fucking program. We got Jesus.
Specifically Sweatpants Jesus, not baby Jesus.
Yes. Like, subscribe, rate, review. Please go review and make us look good. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. And we'll see you on Monday.